bringing it back to Malaysia was much more easier because here it's much more uncapped.
You start off at point zero, but the agency route is not like a linear route.
Do not go down the dropshipping route because you're going to eat your margins, you're going to test a lot of product before you find a winner. And for the beginner who's just starting out, that's not where you want to go.
I would ask, like, do you guys consider yourself agency owners or SMMA owners?
You know what's funny? I always tell this to him. We don't see ourselves as an agency, but we see ourselves more as an investment company, whereby businesses, they invest money with us, they pay the retainer plus the ad spend, and they expect to see a return, right? So the way we operate everything is just through one line and one line only. What's the ROI are we providing to them? So every decision, every service, every package that we create, it has to relate to what's the ROI. So we don't really see ourselves as a marketing agency. It's like more like an investment firm. We're paying us money and you want to see a 5x ROAS, which is more than what the stock market will provide, right? So that's essentially the framework that we have.
That's interesting because just to recap, we were talking about this off camera, but our first messages were you asking me about Iman Ghazi's course, which is an SMMA course.
Yes.
How did you start off this whole agency journey?
So I actually started off as a video marketer. This was in 2019, late 2019. And then Jaya, he dropped me an IG message because he was doing some videography as well. And let's partner up. So what happened was in January of 2020, this is like 2 months before COVID, one of my clients, African American dude, he flew me out to Bali for a month.
What?
So he flew me out to Bali. I had
Why?
the best job ever. So he wanted to do content creation and I was the videographer, right? So he flew me out, paid everything, and I was living the life. But when I was in Bali, I was seeing a whole new different spectrum of like e-commerce, about SMMA. And I realized that, that's what I want. And let's be very honest, most of us when we start SMMA, we want freedom, right? And a lot of people, we kid ourselves, no, I want to be a visionary, but we have to be very honest, what exactly do we want at the end of the day? And at that time, Jaya was running his own Shopify store. So he had some experience in media buying,
Dropshipping method.
Yeah.
dropshipping.
Tell me about your Shopify experience.
So basically, after videography, I wanted to do something that's a bit more bigger. So I went the dropshipping route. And then from the dropshipping route, I understood how to build a Shopify store. Then I learned how to build ads, Facebook ads. So that was me dabbling into the media buying space at that specific time. And it was that perfect moment where Argun told me the importance of media buying when he came back from Bali and saw that videography as a whole is not enough to convince people to video money because videography is not a data-driven numbers game,
Yeah.
It looks cool and but then you're competing with every other videographer out in the market.
Yes.
But when you can prove that your video makes them money, then it's a whole different. That essentially is now an ad. Our videography skills plus the media buying skills it's now becoming, like Hazwan said earlier, a results-driven agency. So we can say now, you partner up with us, we give you this video, we give you this ad, and because of our skills, you can make 2x per investment. Now we are much more different from every other agency.
Yes, right. And to piggyback off what Jaya is saying, I believe like as agency owners, we start off at point zero, but the agency route is not like a linear route. Like we'll be starting off as like a video marketer first, then you become an agency owner. Then once the cash flow is coming in, then you start your own e-commerce brand. So I believe the gist of it is all comes back to skills stacking, right? So the more skills you stack, then the more valuable you become in the marketplace. Yeah.
Okay, so what are the roles of both of you since now you guys are a combined agency, right?
So I essentially handle the sales operation side of things and also overviewing like the management and making sure like the KPIs are met. And Jaya, you want to
So I basically ensure, so he brings in those clients and I look at those clients and see what they want to achieve out of the partnership with us. And then I tell the team, okay, we got to do this, we got to set the brains behind the strategy and understanding to meet the KPI, but in a way that doesn't make the client spend too much money with us also. Because although you can say, okay, we make 100K a month, but if you say you can spend 70K, make 100K, that's, but if you can tell them spend 50K, then you still make them 100K. So my goal is just to make sure the number is maximized and the results are optimal getting every single month.
Yeah. And I believe like Iman Gaji, right? In one of his videos, he says like, do not partner up with someone when you're starting an agency. I would say I go against that because at the end of the day, we have different strengths and weaknesses, and you have to be very, very sharp and aware of what are your strengths and weaknesses. So I realized that I'm not very good at operations, but I'm extremely good at sales. I'm extremely good at convincing and persuasion and lead generation, right? So Jaya here, he's very good at operations. He's very good at the numbers, the media buying. So we thought, okay, you know what? Why don't we complement each other incredibly well? Why don't we partner up? So we kind of went against the grain of, all the SMMA gurus were saying, no, do not partner up. But it's been working incredibly well. But I would say as long as you have the trust in your business partner and you genuinely believe in them, then yes, by all means. And two brains are always better than one. So you always see different perspective.
Got it. How many years have you guys been in the agency space for already now? 4 years? So since 2019.
Yes, end of 2020.
Perfectly after the COVID, it was much more, everything shifted online. So it was so much more easy to reach our services.
So did you guys start off with local businesses or e-commerce? Because you mentioned you did Shopify.
Yeah. So when I did dropshipping in the beginning, it was the American market. Because to go from China to America was much easier than in Malaysia for that. Everyone out there was talking about American, like been saying. So it was easy to just replicate that model until it became unprofitable. So, if anyone's watching out there, I would say do not go down the dropshipping route, because you're going to eat into your margins, you're going to test a lot of product before you find a winner. And for the beginner who's just starting out, that's not where you want to go. And one thing that SMMA provides is zero upfronts, just selling your skills with a maximum profit margin, where your cost probably is going to just be software in the beginning before you even hire anyone else. So yeah, after the dropshipping route, I look at the cost and stop where we want to go. And so we started with an American mindset, and then bringing it back to Malaysia was much more easier, because here it's much more untapped. When you start an e-commerce store back in Malaysia, people have not seen the kind of ads they've seen in America yet. So it's much more easier to enter much more the bar where you're. So I believe we don't have to always reinvent the wheel. Just find another market and we can bring them better.
Yeah. And yeah, just like Jaya said, like, anybody who wants to make money, right? Like service-based business, I would say, I agree. Like it's the best business model to start because you don't have any money.
Yeah.
And remember I always said about skill stacking, because right now just last month we just launched our e-commerce brand. And
your
just
own
our
brand,
own e-commerce brand. I can't say much right now, but off camera I will say a bit about it. And it's been doing quite well. You're seeing sales coming in. And if it wasn't for the skills that we're stacking before this, and also having that mode of cash flow that gives you that peace of mind, because you have to buy inventory, you have to run ads, you have to spend on web development, right? If you're starting out, you don't have the money, that's going to really ensure that you have a short-term mindset. You're not able to really see things huge, right? You will have your runway is small. So starting a service-based business allows you to have that runway, allows you to keep that peace of mind, where then you use that money to build bigger businesses. And if I'm being very honest with you, our agency is not the end all be all. It's just a stepping stone to use that cash flow to build into bigger things, which is e-commerce. And let's not go too far. Let's look at Iman Gaji, right? He shut down his agency, and now he's starting his software. He says he shut it down, but yeah, he's passed it over. But look at what he's doing. He's playing the high leverage moves, right? Because at the end of the day, cash flow will get you so far, but the equity game is where the big millions are made. So because of the EBITDA, because of exiting a company with multiple units, you just make a lot of money in that sense. So one amazing book which is called A Millionaire Fast Lane. It sounds so scammy, that book, Millionaire Fast Lane, but it's one of the best books out there. And he says by Andre DeMarco, if I'm not mistaken.
Yes, I did about that.
So he says, when you see a guy who's 25 years old driving in a Lamborghini, you think he became rich to cash flow, or because he sold a software company, right? And you start seeing that pattern that all these young millionaires, they became extremely rich because they built the company in a short frame of time, made it sellable, scalable, and then sold it off, and you get that lump sum windfall. So of course, for the first 2 to 3 years, you're not going to see that money, but that's where the service-based business comes in to give you that runway. So
Got it. Awesome. So, explain to me how you guys got your first few clients. You said that service-based, and then you're doing dropshipping. How did you get your first few clients, and how much do you guys charge them?
You're going to embarrass me right now. So my first ever client in the SMMA space was a pizza restaurant just opposite my house.
Oh, nice.
Just opposite my house.
You went to buy pizza, is it?
Absolutely. No, I love their pizza. And I saw their social media was a bit bad. And at that time I was watching some content on how to sell and everything. So I approached them and said, your social media, you're not posting consistently, therefore you're not going to get enough clients. And they took a chance on me. And I was only charging about 200 Sing a month.
Oh, that's pretty decent, bro.
Yeah, just for content. Just go shoot videos and post 3 content a week. Very simple stuff.
Quite simple stuff.
Yes, but that's when you slowly realize that the barrier of entry is very low. So that's when we started focusing from content creation, content management, SMMA, social media marketing, to conversion based, ROI based, which is where the media buying comes in. But that was the first client, just cold calling and cold emailing, and the opportunity where I had the most amount of clients is just through Facebook groups. I created this post in a Facebook group, and I had 25 people message me, and one of them is still a client of today, just like 4 years ago. So yeah, I just got to be creative in that sense. But I would say, if I'm being very honest, I'm not gonna lie, we were at the perfect place, right time, because we started our agency properly, started it right when COVID hit, because we had to shut down our video marketing agency because you can't go around because of lockdowns and everything, right? So it was a perfect place, perfect time, and it just leveraged into opportunity on that, which I believe and I see where the AI is coming in right now at the moment.
Right. Also, you wanted to say something?
No, I think like I was saying, the COVID thing kind of forced us to level up lah. And in terms of any business, there will be opportunities like this. People don't be scared about AI. It's not going to take away your jobs. It's not going to take away anything. But if you can understand how to leverage it and force your business to go towards that direction, there's no reason for it to not flourish, right? And I believe every business, if you stop innovating and at a certain point you say, you know what, I know it all, I'm the best in the world, that's when the newcomers are going to come along and take over.
Interesting.
Yeah.
So most of your clients are not service-based businesses, right? You mentioned that e-commerce and
In the beginning, yeah.
okay, so what's the situation right now? Who are your main clients?
Right. So we're mainly working with two niches, right? E-commerce and the dental industry. So e-commerce has been our bread and butter, and we've gotten insane results. One of our clients, Nate Skin. So what they do is they sell balls shaver. It's literally the whole brand is just for that, right? You can flip it out if you want to. Just for your balls. And we started working with them last year, February, and they were doing about 20,000 ringgit a month at a negative 10% loss. So they're losing money. In the span of 9 months, we got them from 20K to now they're doing about $500,000. But in the span of 8 months, we got them from 20K to 150K. Okay. From a negative 10% loss to a 35% profit margin.
Nice.
And then what happened was we got this referral of a dental client, this dental friend who was like, you know, I really need help with my dental clinic. I really need assistance. And we're like, oh, well, just for you, we'll do it. But then we realized how untapped the lead gen space is in Malaysia, Singapore, you're in the ASEAN market, because a lot of lead gen agencies, they just promise you 19 leads in 90 days, right? But then we went a step deeper and realized they don't want leads. They just want patients who know what the price is, who know what services they want, who've made some form of financial commitment before coming to the clinic, right? So it took us a lot of time and effort to really build a strong sales team that calls out the patients, you know, talks to them about what are the different service and treatments, and collects a deposit. So it's how we innovated, how Jaya said, right? That you have to always be innovating because of the boom of SMMA, I believe in 2021, because of COVID, there's been an influx of Tom, Dick and Harry starting their own agencies, right? So if you can't differentiate yourself, you're just going to be bad. So honestly, you hear a lot of people say, oh, SMMA is saturated, there's too many people in. To be frank, we don't see any competition coming in. We are like in our own cruise, in our own league. We don't see any competition because of the offer that we have.
What's your offer?
So what we offer is we guarantee 25 deposit and appointments booked for the dental clinic in 60 days, or we work for free until we do. And the 25 deposits are patients who are willing to pay 5K and above for each treatment. So meaning they're not just coming for whitening or scaling.
5K ringgit.
5K Malaysia ringgit, right? And even in Singapore as well, that's the same guarantee that we have, but of course in Singaporean currency, the Singapore dollars. So in that sense, if you do 25K times 5,000, right? That's about 150-ish thousand ringgit they make in 60 to 90 days, which is a lot of money. So they've profited even more than our retainer plus the ad spend, and that's exactly what they want to see. Because every business, they just care about one thing: how can you make me more money, right? And increase my profit margins. So there's a lot of work that needs to be done over that. Right now, we're quite solid in terms of that.
A lot of foundational work being done right now, because in any business, when the foundation is strong, then you just kill from that point, right?
Got it. So you guys have e-commerce clients and service-based clients. How do you have the skills to learn both? Or
Like I said, like innovating and ensuring, never sitting down and going, I do everything. Even at the top, you still don't know everything. And when you can bring down that ego and learn from everyone else and learn really how to be better, then there's nothing you cannot do.
And to answer your question, Simon, I would say that most people fall in love with the niche, but you should instead fall in love with your skills. If your skills are strong, if your foundation is strong, your fundamentals are there, then pretty much any niche that's thrown towards you, you are able to just take it and do it because your foundation is strong. So most people, what they do is they just, if e-commerce, they just they just go after e-commerce, and they don't really focus on building other assets, other skills as well. So yeah, falling in love with skills rather than niche is very, very important.
So how many clients do you guys have in totality right now?
So at the moment we have about 8 clients. Yeah.
Okay.
And we try to keep it lean. We're not looking to scale too hard or too high because, you know, at the end of the day, peace of mind and operationality and making sure each client gets like 100% full attention is very important. So we rather work with small set of clients who can pay us big, but we also make them a lot of money. Yeah.
There's a very funny difference between us Asian SMMA agency owners
Yes.
and the US based owners.
Yes.
The big difference is the volume of clients. Most of them in the US, they want to have 50, 100, 200 clients, paying them 2K a month. But in Asia, especially Singapore and even Malaysia, I guess, we always, most agencies have less than 10 clients.
Same also, is it?
Yeah,
You follow the same philosophy.
Same here, bro.
Nice.
Yeah, so almost everybody running agency in Singapore has less than 10 clients or just nice maximum 10. Sometimes they push it to 12, but it's around that number.
Why do you think that is?
I think we value...
I've not noticed this difference.
I've noticed it because I've
Why is
interviewed
that?
so many already.
Why is that?
I think because they prefer long-term relationships with that one client and then just keeping that relationship going and then getting one more sale and then just keeping that going as well.
Alright.
Plus, I think a slightly higher ticket price model as well.
Correct. 100%.
Base model.
Yeah. And just to maybe just give a bit more value, right? Like starting off an agency, right? Most of us we start because we want money, right? We want that freedom, that, you know, Iman Gaji lifestyle with the Rolls Royce at Dubai, at Bali. And the problem when we start off is we're very selfish. Okay, any client we can get, we just get it. We don't care whether they can get that results or not, right? But we have to start shifting towards the scarcity mindset, towards the abundance mindset. We really started seeing our agency scale. And we say, you know what? We don't care how much we're making, but how much we can really get results for the clients. And one amazing company that does that is Amazon. Right? They have monastic focus on the customer experience and the customer results. And, you know, just reading that book by Jeff Bezos, The Everything Store, really gave the epiphany that, you know, you really focus on your clients and you really focus on the results. Then you don't have to go on the constant loop of chasing. So of course you could have maybe 100 clients, but then every month, you know, you have to always repeat and find more clients. Then you don't have a business, you know, you have a windmill that just keeps on running and running.
Hamster wheel.
Yeah, exactly.
Interesting. So how much revenue are you guys doing right now per month?
In terms of revenue, I would say mid 5 figures. So we're looking at about 30 to 40 Sing a month around.
Nice. With 8 clients.
Yes.
And is this all performance based, like you mentioned, 25?
So initially when we start, we do retainer, and then we slowly shift towards our performance model, especially in the dental niche, whereby we guarantee them, you know, walk-in appointments. But then we do not know what happens in the clinic, right? So we share the risk in that sense. But I would say the best win-win situation we found is to have like a retainer plus performance basis, because the retainer ensures that the client is responsive and committed in the relationship, and the performance also ensures that we are not comfortable. We are always improving and scaling as well.
Got it. So what's the goal right now? You mentioned you don't want to just go for the next client. You want to provide results.
Yes.
Right now you guys are at 30 to 50 Sing dollars a month. Are you guys trying to scale to 100K a month?
Absolutely, that's definitely the goal, right? Like
by signing more clients or by providing more results for the same pool of clients?
So interesting thing, like mentioning about the equity side of things, what we started looking into is how can we, you know, have like equity swap in the clients that we have, like having an equity in the clinics. So in that sense, that's going to be huge also. So I can't really share a lot of details about equity and the NDAs that we have, but that is the side of things that we want to start looking into as well. Because one of our clients, you know, their goal is to go public. So
a dental client?
I mean, they have a portfolio of other companies as well. One of them is a clinic. So just, you know, when you find that one client who has that vision, and, you know, you forces you to level up your skills as well to make sure they can get results, and they start referring you others. So we're looking to start shifting towards like retainer and performance to having equity in that sense. And, you know, once the company is sold, you have that windfall that coming in that sets you up for life. So that's where we're slowly going into. But in the sense of scaling, yes, we are going to be looking to onboard more clients, but with our existing clients is to go deeper with them. Like probably we're just providing Facebook and Instagram ads, like we can start providing other services as well.
And a lot of focus on to understanding scaling is not really important if your foundation is weak, because a lot of agencies, they want more money and then it keeps getting and onboarding new clients and onboarding. But if the foundational team is weak, then what you're going to see happen is a lot of clients come in and then drop off because at a higher number of clients, you cannot give them the results anymore because your attention is divided by a lot of clients, and then they start leaving and then you come back down. Yeah, go back up and then come back down. So any agency owner must focus on that comfortable amount rate, and for us it's that 30 to 40 at the moment, and building that solid team so that when we bring in more clients, you start going to have that ceiling effect. Keep breaking it back down.
Yeah.
Then, what if your clients can't close, for example? Because I guess the e-commerce side, it's handled when they purchase, right?
Exactly.
But what if your clients can't close and you set 25 departments?
Very good question, and that's an issue that we faced as well.
Yeah.
So again, like I said, you have to go above and beyond, right? So what we've done is created a sales package where we come to the clinic and we host like a one-day mastermind with the admins and the dentists, right? So there's this book, I can't remember what it's called, whereby they say like when a dentist starts a dental practice, right? They're practitioners, they're not marketers, they're not salespeople. So it's very difficult for you to really scale a business in that sense. That's why they need our help. So what we do is we go above and beyond to train them about sales psychology. That's one thing I wish like even universities teach. Like if you want to become chiropractor or whatever, like a service-based business, you need to know how to sell. You need to know how to create smart pricing models. You need to have financial models, right? You have upsells, downsells, ecoy pricing. So all of these different stuff, we come to the clinic and we help them create, like really understand psychology. Because sometimes dentists, they just do not know when is the right time to say what, right? So when we show them the framework or what to say, how to say, when to say, then they understand you better, and that really produces. So now we've realized our job just doesn't stop when the moment we collect the deposit on their behalf and make sure the patient walks in. We also have to do extra coaching as well. But when they see more results, then you can of course charge higher. So you have to show results first before you can charge higher as well.
Got it. So you do a one-day camp with them in person?
Yes, it's actually in that clinic. Yes.
Okay. How does that work? Like you guys, both of you go there, show them
Correct.
sales, and then what? You guys act as a dummy customer?
Absolutely.
Yeah,
so we
mystery
do that
shopper.
as well.
Yeah.
So we even have this like mystery shopper where we get one of our employees to go to the clinic. This is like 1 week before the presentation or the mastermind. So our employee goes in, like nobody knows that he's our employee and stuff like that, because they know us because we hop on sales calls and Zoom calls with them, right? So they know how we look like. So we get them to go into the clinic and just go through the entire experience, right? Like from the moment like they go and register to them sitting and how the conversation takes place, and then they come back to us, they report to us. We go to that extent to really making sure that every part of the process works well.
With every single client?
Yes, I mean 8 clients is not that bad.
Yeah,
it's not that bad. Of course, we create a package out of it, so we compensated for this as well because it's not easy. Like since it's not something that can be trained, it has to be practiced. Like that's very, very important. So yeah, that's how we essentially go into it, and we come up and find the pinpoints, the weaknesses and everything, and then we coach them and based on that they've seen results. They feel more confident, and then because they don't want to look pushy, but sales, it's not pushy is because if you know how to say it, when to say it, it does not come off the mission. Yeah.
And also we help them to, a lot of dentists that just run discounts for their promos and stuff like that.
Exactly.
And eventually they start attracting these cheap leads and just want the cheapest prices, and that's going to eat into their profit margin. And so we come in and help them how to attract the rich clients, attract the ones with money who wants to come in and have at least a 10, 20, even 25K treatment just for their teeth. And usually we see attracting politicians, public figures who come in, celebrities, and through that ads and the platforms that we bring in, they start seeing the clients coming in, which is a domino effect, because once a celebrity walks into your dentist, it's renowned and you can increase your prices and everything just falls in place after that.
Yeah. And remember how I said I saw that the dental scene in Malaysia or the service-based scene in Malaysia was heavily untapped?
Yeah.
Because every other clinic, the ads that we were seeing before we decided, is this a niche you want to enter? Almost every other clinic were doing like discounts, or they were just running ads for like a 99 ringgit scaling and whitening package. So we thought that, that's what, like Jaya said, you're going to attract like low quality clients. So in our ads, and one of the reasons why clients enjoy working with us, can have a long wait list of dental clinics wanting to work with us, is because we never ever mention price or discounts or promotions in our ads. We never do that because we know what are the repercussions that's going to happen. So that's how our ads are created in a way where it's engaging, it's fun, and most importantly, it's informational and educational to get the right types of people coming, right? So of course on ads, right, there's this thing called the thumb stop rate, like the first 3 to 5 seconds. So all this different stuff that we put into the ad really attracts the right type of people. And you'll be surprised, a lot of patients that we speak to or SDR speak to they say that the reason why a lot of patients they cancel appointments or do not even go to visit a clinic is because of dental anxiety. It's a huge thing. I believe even in Singapore as well.
Yeah.
Because when they were a child or whatsoever, something might have happened that the trauma is in their mind. And we get patients telling us the reason why I booked an appointment with you is because your ads came off as so comforting, very trustworthy, huge credibility. That puts a smile on our face that we know our ads are working well. So we even managed to close the CEO of Pahang FC. So Pahang FC is a big football club in Malaysia. It's actually owned by the Sultan of Pahang, like royalty family. So he came through to the clinic. I was the one who handled the sales call because we saw CEO of Pahang FC. I was like, okay, I need to step up and show a good example to the team as well. I recorded the call and he paid 35 grand for a full mouth Hollywood smile makeover, which is veneers. Paid 35 grand. And that shows the results that we are putting in. And like I said, that's how we realized we don't have much competition because our skills are there, but it wasn't easy to get. It was 4 years worth of work and also the offer that we have and the confidence that we have that we bring.
Got it. So how are your ads different? You mentioned they're engaging, but they don't have a price point.
Yes.
For the SMMA boys, what does that mean?
Yes. Jay, would you repeat to that?
So
that's a very good question.
Yeah, that's a very good question. So basically, you need to understand who are we speaking to in the first place. Before you even create any sort of ads or go into any sort of design problems, get into who you want to reach out to. First principles. Once you understand who you're going to target, understand what do they watch on Facebook, understand what language do they speak. And I mean not in terms of English or Malay or but in
The
terms
slang, the accent and everything.
accent, what are their pain points? And although this sounds very cliche, especially in the SMMA, what are the pain points, right? But every specific person has a different pain point. You might have, businessman pain points. No. CEO pain points, CFO pain points, COO pain points, that deep. There's a investor pain point. What's a VC pain point? Because if you understand, some businessmen want to look good in front of the camera because they go through a lot of interviews. But other businessmen want to look good because they want to sell, they want confidence. So who exactly are we speaking to and why would they want to have a good smile? So we tend to go deeper onto that. When you were saying thumb stop break, like visuals that will capture the audience mind. Let's just say, you say you want to be in front of the camera a lot and you care about your smile. So the first 3 seconds, we're going to develop an ad where in the first 3 seconds, I'm going to attack that part. Where you look at this thing and like, okay, this is something I'm going through. In 3 seconds, it's going to be very difficult to be done. But in 3 seconds, that's going to be done and it's got your attention. But now from converting your attention, how am I going to display the message that you need us? So that's the next 10 to 15 seconds. So the best way to do any sort of ads or a marketing funnel is one thing, and for me to do this is every step is not for them to close. There's one step is just go to the next step. So the job of the ad is not to sell the course or whatever you're selling, it's just to get them to go to the website. That's the only job of the ad. The website's job is to make them book a call. The book a call's job is to get them to close. A lot of people try to close in the ad and it's not going to work, especially when you're doing e-com in the first place also. Try to sell these, when we try to put a price on the ad, then essentially selling them in the ad itself. And so we don't want to do that. We just want to take it step by step. And even if you have a 1 minute long ad, break it down. The first 5 seconds is to get them to watch the next 5 seconds. The next 5 seconds, the next 5 seconds. When you break it down to simple sort like this, even in sales, like Hargun always says it perfectly. When you go on the first date and then you ask them where you stumble, got the job the first day to get the second date, the job the second day to get the third date, and that's how marketing is.
Yes. And to maybe give you a better example, because we went a lot of like the strategy side of things, right? Like one ad that has been working really well is like, the before and after of Cristiano Ronaldo.
Yeah.
When he first started playing for Manchester United, his team was horrible, right? It was just all over the place. But now he looks like a Chad, right? He looks extremely good. So the ad was very simple, like we put like a before and after. Who would you trust more? So that's like the first 3 to
But in
5
before and
seconds
after
of the ad.
legal on Facebook, I thought that was
In Singapore not. So when we
There is a way. There is a way to get to it.
there is a way, but Malaysia, they're not that strict. Singapore, yes.
it's only limited to Singapore.
Or maybe other countries, but there is a way around it. You have to be very subtle around it.
Yeah.
That's the tricky part.
You cannot just put before and after, get us. It needs to be very subtle.
Yes.
Yeah.
So that's the ad that we did. So who would you trust more? So then the ad transitions to if you're an insurance agent, if you're a salesperson, if you're a CFO, right? The first 7 seconds lasts a huge impression. So if you want to close a deal, your first 7 seconds of how you look, your teeth and everything makes a lot of importance. So what we are doing is we're changing the dental scene from a want to a need. And when you change that and you make that twist, that's when you can convince people to spend up to 5,000 and above on each treatment. So that's where the job comes in. It's all about perception and perspective. How can you twist that? and you can show the limelight of what it is, then in their mind they justify it, right? Okay, that makes sense. Because if I pay 10K for a full smart makeover, a lot of money. But that 10K investment will probably give me 30K because people trust me more.
Yeah.
Got it. Okay, so then my question is, it's prepaid deposit, right? But there's no price tag on the ad.
Right. So the reason why we don't mention on the ads is because it's going to create that competition. So in the sales call is where we explain about the price, we explain about the package. And because on sales calls is where we can handle objections. You have to be a bit smart. If you just tell the pricing upfront like that, people are going to be like, oh. But in the sales calls where you can handle the objections, you can really see the emotions when you say 10K, they're like, I've got to think about it. Then you go, what do you have to think about it? You see the value in it, why don't you see? So you can do more damage control on the sales call rather than just the ad itself.
So it's not prepaid, it's paid in full. You just said 10K.
So yeah, so in the sales call, we collect the deposit, right?
Which is not mentioned on the ad at all.
No, so they see the ad, they click on the ad, they book a call with us, and in the call, we do a consultation, right? Which treatment will be the best? If it's crooked teeth, then maybe aligners. If you want a smile makeover, then veneers, for example. Then at the end of the call, we say, okay, if you want this treatment, this is what the price is going to be. Book a consultation and you pay a deposit from that. Then once they pay the deposit, then immediately you book a time and day for them to come to the clinic. So that's how the flow works. So it's not they go to the website and buy, because again, we do believe you need that human touch, because especially when it's 5K and above, there's a lot of questions and you need that human touch as well.
Got it. So you guys funnel to a landing page and then from a landing page to call.
Yeah. Yes.
You do not lead form straight to call.
No.
Okay, because you can do that and go high level, right?
Yes.
Yeah. Why not do that instead?
So lead forms, I would say, is the less investment, emotional investment. Like on a landing page, you put like testimonials, a DSL, and that makes the life of the SDR a lot easier as well, right? Because the selling is already done on the landing page, and it's just another call just to close as well.
How do you guys pay the SDR? Do you get comms per close, or how do you go for it?
Yeah, so if you're looking to build an SDR team, I would highly suggest to work on commission basis first. Like I would say maybe the first 1 or 2 months to work on a commission basis, then have a base plus commission. Because like I've done a lot of interviews, and everybody says they can close, they can sell, until it's time to actually sell and close, right? So you want that trial period to really test the waters and see, if they're performing well or not. If they are, then
Got it, So commissions first, then base and commission.
yes, that's the method that we've been trying, and they've been working incredibly well.
That makes sense. I also do this similar thing with most of my
Alright. We're going to make sure that your commissions make sense to them. It's not too low ticket. And at the same time, you can see if they're genuinely interested and if they're genuinely good or not. Because if they're really adamant about the base, then you kind of know that they're not that really in the work.
Yeah, that makes sense. So how much do you guys pay them in commissions then?
It depends. Like we don't have specific costs, like different pricing structure, different tiers, different treatments, different services. But we pay them well. They're not complaining.
Ideally, the highly ticket stuff, the more they
Yeah.
get paid.
Yeah.
Because you get a cut off that, or do you guys pay them
No,
internally?
we pay them internally.
Yeah.
Okay, got it. Interesting. And how much do you guys charge your clients then, your service-based clients? There's quite a lot of work to be done,
Yeah, absolutely, right? Absolutely. So, like I said, when I first started, we were charging like 200 ringgit, every 200 Sing dollars per client. Now we do at least, anywhere between 7 to 8. And we try not to go below that as well. And I would say I will offer
7K,
yes, 7 to 8,000 ringgit. Yeah. So, but plus the performance basis, it really helps to elevate a lot. So that's why the first 3 months we work on a retainer basis first, because we want to see whether the client, the services they're providing, is it good or not, even in the first place. Like you can get them as many leads, but if the service is not good, then that's going to fall back on you, especially if you're working on a performance basis, because your money is on the line as well, right? Your effort is on the line as well.
Got it.
So once we've gauged and we see this client is really good, then we work on a performance basis, and that's when things really shoot up.
Now I can see you've gotten so much experience and knowledge, right? But who is it thanks to? Like, what got you both started into this online journey? Was it specifically Iman, or was it just, you mentioned your Bali friend?
I would say it was the Bali trip, because I would say, so my first mentor is this guy by the name of Gavin Dantas. So Gavin Dantas is this Canadian guy who lives in Bali, beautiful villa, like he's living the life. So what I did when I was 18 years old, right, after my O-levels, is that what you guys call it here, O-levels, right? So I just DM'd him, because I was like, so the best way to find a mentor in life is, figure out who has the life that you want to live, and what are they doing, and what value can you provide to them? Like, that's the most simplest form. So I realized that this guy is living the life, and his content creation game was very weak. By that time, I knew how to edit, I knew how to shoot. So I just DM'd him like, hey man, like, can I shoot and edit videos for you and stuff like that just for free? Don't pay me anything. And he was a co-founder of this company called Magnet Mount. So you know that magnet thing that you put on and you can charge your phone? So we're the first distributors of that product. And they went from 0 to 3 million within their first year. And that's when I was like, you know what, I'm going to work for free, I'm going to soak up all this knowledge. And that's what I did. I became a sponge, right? All the videos, that marketing videos he was creating, I was editing them. So imagine the same video I was watching 10 times because I was editing them.
Right.
And I just started soaking them like a sponge, right? And then when I flew out to Bali, I met him, and that's when he told me, like, you know what, media buying is the future, advertising is the future. So it's all about connections, about getting yourself to the right place and the right environment. To be very frank, like, YouTube videos help, but it's just too many generic advices. Like, I always find the most valuable YouTube videos are the ones that have like 3,000 views.
Yeah.
Like by some Stanford professor that you've never heard before, but the advice is some solid stuff, right? And the videos that get 200k views is basically dumbed down to the masses.
Yeah.
Right.
Yes.
Just to make it understandable and easy. Because if you get too specific, sometimes people cannot understand it.
Yeah.
Just check out.
Correct.
So Gavin was the person, and I learned from him, and that's how he evolved. And after that, I would say just mainly experience. Just mainly experience. Don't use that.
And yourself?
Very similarly, actually, because similarly, I was involved in the online marketing space. Had a lot of friends who were doing videography, event videography, and that's when I went into videography. And I think everybody knows Sam Calder. So yeah, that was the life that we wanted to live: the travel, the videos, and stuff like that.
I actually don't know who, Sam?
Sam Calder. So he's this amazing
Oh, I have to show you his videos.
travel
after this.
videographer. So he's an ambassador for DJI. There's a lot of videos that he shoots called DJI. And from that point, I started thinking, okay, this is a cool life to live, right? And then how can I replicate that? And then I started meeting up with other videographers who are in that space, learn how to do videography, and did my own videography. And I was a huge fan of Gary Vee back then, right? The OG marketing guy. And I started creating content like him. And that's when I started going, like he said, it's network. And I've learned this from a very young age. It's not about what you know, but who you know. And what you do with who you know, right? So through whatever I was doing, through the content and stuff like that, I started making some networks, and Argun was one of it. And then through Argun, multiple other friends came through the picture, and then see how they live their life. And we saw, and you know what's beautiful is once you get there, you realize that's maybe not what you want in the first place, right? And then tweaking that vision that you originally want to have, and then me and Argun, we were going down that path for a while. Like, we were living the life that we want to live, but then realized there's something more to living. And that's why we went down this real of growing real businesses. Yeah. So previously, I can say we were just glorified freelancers. A lot of SMMA owners are glorified freelancers. But then when you really look into the how to run an actual agency, these are the things that Iman probably are not showing you on the content. How he's going to run 200 agency comes out of learning how to build a business, how to talk to VCs, how to talk to investors, how to expand it globally, internationally network. That's where we are going to solve real passion, and that's when we really start enjoying business.
Got it. You guys talk about freedom and all of this lifestyle, right? How's your work life right now?
I personally believe in work-life balance.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
I don't believe
I
it.
don't.
I believe that
Competition is
work
getting
is
darker
life
and
and life is work.
Yeah.
And so suddenly it was about the lifestyle in Bali. I don't believe in work-life balance.
I don't.
No,
yeah.
You flipped.
So you know what's crazy? Like what Jaya was saying, like you thought that what you wanted was what you wanted.
Yeah.
Until you live that life and you realize like, no, this is not what I want. And that's the epiphany I had in Bali. Like I was there for a month. Everything was paid for, by the way. And I realized like, is waking up every day, hitting the pool, shooting content, going to a club, is that the life that I want to live? And I realized, you know what? I think I'm meant for bigger things. So that's why I came back home. I had to like revisit, my vision, my goals, and everything. Restart things again, right? In terms of work-life balance, I would say that if you really enjoy what you do, it's not like you don't see it as like I'm tired or I don't feel like doing it. It's like you genuinely enjoy it, and I enjoy the ups and downs of business. And a lot of people, including myself, the mindset I have was I want less problems, right? And that's a very negative view of looking at life because problems are inevitable. But it's about how can you fall in love with the problems, and how can you fall in love as being a firefighter, right? Like putting off those problems. And I see it as a video game whereby every problem I solve, I'm getting like 1+1+1+, I'm upgrading. And overall, that just builds your confidence, and that translates into every other facet in your life. So I kind of see that way. Like work-life balance, not really, because I'll be at 2 a.m. just replying and just doing and enjoy it. It's not like I have to do it and I want it. And we started agency with our own choice. Like nobody put a gun on our head and said you have to run an agency. Like we wanted to do it. And if you want to quit, you can quit at any time. If you want to, let's be very, very right. So if you really don't like it, like choose something that you want. But we enjoy it, we love it, and the more momentum you start building, it's beautiful.
So can you leave your business for 1 month and not attend to it currently?
I actually did that last month, but not for a month. I was off for 2 weeks.
Yeah.
And things were going quite until we realized a few leakages, like in terms of like the hiring processes, the lead gen systems, and the operations. And that's why we're actually in Singapore, because we came for the mastermind is to fix all of this kind of stuff, so we can do that and we can build that.
Got it.
Yeah. But to be frank, dude, like it just feels different.
Yeah.
Living the business, because for the past 4 years, that's been our life.
Yeah.
Like every day, just talking to clients, hopping on Zoom calls, doing things. So even for like 2 days, I don't do anything in the business.
Yes.
I feel
It's come to that point now, like a lot of people desire freedom so much, but work so hard, and they've built all this, and then now you got nothing to do. It's like, is that it? I work so hard to just do nothing. Doesn't make sense.
That's a good way to put
makes
it.
sense, right? Yeah. So being arrogant, we've loved, and the big part of having a partner read each other is during the down times we have each other, and during the highs you can share the success with each other.
Absolutely.
And me, and he will laugh at the bad times. We have banters among each other during the bad times. It makes running a business a bit more easier. And one thing is self-accountability. When you run your business with a partner, he will look at me and like, yo, you're not doing your job. You're not doing your job. And that keeps us, because another thing about passion is such a dangerous word. When you like what you do, does that mean when you don't like it, you don't have to do it? Right? Is it that people are trained to think, if I like what I do, that's how it works. But there will come a time where you won't feel like waking up and getting the business, but you have to do it anyway. You have to get up, you have to do this, you have to, especially at the higher you scale, the more clients you have. Like, now I used to wake up and nothing on my phone, but now I wake up to 10 messages about this employee wants that, and that client's on this, and so you come these pieces that even if you want to take a break, you can't. And just learn to live and learn to love that instead of learning to love the freedom. And
the other question is, if I'm not doing this, what else would I be doing?
Yeah.
And genuinely thought about that, and nothing came to my mind. So, yeah.
Got it. So what's your work schedule like right now? You mentioned you reply at 2 a.m.
Yeah, just for one-off clients, okay, to just troubleshoot some things. But usually start off at 9.
I mean those clients that text me at 2 a.m. by the way.
Yeah, you can choose not to reply, but
Yes.
if I'm on my phone, I'm like, okay, blue tick, I might as well just reply, right? But I understand that. And that's why setting boundaries is very, very important. Like as agency owners, we kind of pander to our clients a lot. We kind of fall at their feet. And that really changes the dynamic a lot, because they start seeing you more as, oh, you need me more than I need you. And when that relationship is set, and when you start off that relationship like that, then you realize you don't have the upper hand and you'll be bullied.
Yes.
And as a business owner, you have to look at yourself as a business owner, not as an agency owner, not as like Jaya said, a glorified freelancer. So we have very strong boundaries and protocols with our clients, whereby the moment we've signed the contract, we've paid the first invoice, you have to go through our onboarding process, and you have to let us know when you've added this to your business manager. Then we have a dedicated account called Rock. So Rock is like Slack. So all the messages are handled on Rock and Rock only. You have a problem, go to Rock. Do not one
it's called Rock.
Yeah, it's like Slack, but it's just a lot more.
I like that tagline. Stop slacking, start rocking.
Yeah. But yeah, setting boundaries is very,
Why
very
rock
important.
and not Slack again?
Slack, no, we tried Slack and it was so confusing.
messy, yeah.
It was messy, it was all over the place. Like you tag this person and that other person gets a message. So just Rock was just a solution, but it is way cheaper as well. So it just hits two birds with one stone, so it's perfect. So yeah, like I do not entertain clients on WhatsApp, and it's not because I'm rude, but because you still have a life to live at the end of the day, and have given the platform for them to voice out any concerns or problems that they have. So just like in relationships, bro, like the more you allow your girlfriend to, if you reward bad behavior, the more they're going to do that, right? Same thing in relationships, same thing in business. The more you reward bad behavior, the more they're going to be like, oh, if I do this, he's going to reward me with that, with attention or a reply. It's still some form of reward. So just having that boundary is very important. And that changes when you start looking at yourself as a business owner rather than a glorified freelancer. And I believe you have very strong skills. you know that, you know, if these clients give me problems, I can offboard and have another client that we both mutually benefit. So it's not being cruel, it's more being very respectful of each other's time.
Yeah.
So it comes to schedule, like, you know, I usually wake up at 9 o'clock and the work day at 6, but from 6 to 10 is just mainly meetings and, you know, reconciling and realigning with the team and just messaging 1 or 2 messages here and there. But just having strong systems is very important. And I realize in the agency, there's just 3 systems you have to focus on. Number 1 is lead generation system, operation systems, which is getting results, and last but not least is hiring systems, which is hiring talents. If you have these 3 well-oiled machines, you know, you legit have a business. Yeah.
Got it. So how's your work schedule like every day? From like morning, what time do you guys wake up? And what time does it end?
I wake up at 9, and then, you know, it's just mainly just meetings, and we kind of automated the meetings in a way where, you know, like Elon Musk says, like meetings are not fruitful, right? Like usually just a lot of back and forth.
Jeff Bezos as well.
Jeff Bezos as well, right? And I thought that was very important. So what we've done is we just have bi-weekly meetings with our clients. So every 2 weeks once, at this time we have a 1-hour meeting. And that 1-hour meeting, before the meeting, we know what is the objective, what we need to do, and what we want to accomplish at the end of the meeting. So it's just 1 hour. So if you look at it, you're only speaking to a client 2 hours in the whole month, which is good. If you don't have those kind of systems in place, then you're going to be doing meetings every other time. So we do that. Me personally, I handle a lot on the sales calls. I have like a huddle sales meeting with our SDRs, going through the KPIs, going through all of that. And then the rest of the day is just, you know, coming up with ad concepts, you know, speaking with Jaya about, you know, where do we want to take the business, speaking with other partners like in Australia, Dubai, and stuff like that, and just seeing where we want to hit. It's more about the overall high level needle moving activities, right? Because you realize after a certain point when you have a very strong team, which you're very blessed to have, you stop being in the day-to-day stuff operations, you go about the decision making and go over big stuff. You want to chime in a bit on that?
Basically that. So a lot of business owners, they work in the business and not on the business, which is this huge rat race. It's another rat race, because if you come out of it, then it all collapses. So building important systems and putting important people in place, like how I was saying, this bi-weekly calls, right? Sometimes we don't have to be there if we have a more important meeting, because our employees are already trained to report to those clients and get what they need to work on the clients, get made better. And coming up with systems, upgrading the businesses, knowing who to hire, knowing what kind of teams to put in place so you can get better KPIs. These are what grows the business. Actually being the business and getting the task done is not what grows the business. So again, being an agency owner, find out how to come out of the agency and look at it from a what's the word? Fish eyes point of view? Bird's eye point of view. Fish eyes point of view. Bird's eye point of view, and understanding where, like as chess, you don't have to be the pieces playing the game, you have to be the guy making moves. Right? So that's what a business owner essentially is.
Awesome. So what time does it start and what time does it end at?
To be honest, bro,
there's
like,
a very grey area.
There's not even grey area. There's no specific time. Like, so you see, right? When you look at business at, okay, I have to start at this time and end at this time. Like, are you really a business owner? Not really. In fact, you should flip and ask yourself, what are the tasks I have to sort today? What are the goals and KPIs I have to hit? And if you can get them done in 2 hours, then you're done for the day. And that's a much more productive way to look at life than, okay, I have to start at 9 and I have to finish by 6. Like, you could, for all you know, for that 9 hours, you could just be watching YouTube videos and just be wasting your time. So even with our own employees, we give them time flexibility. Like with our SDRs, I'm very, very flexible. As long as you're hitting KPIs every month, you're reporting back to us, we don't care what you're doing the rest of the time. You have your own life to live. And that's the company culture we want to build as well, where, you know, we don't have like fixed timings. We focus more on productivity and performance and results. And those are the 3 main things that's going to drive the business forward. So it's changing the perception that you have to start this time. So when someone asks us, we don't really have an answer. Like, we just have the tasks that we have to do. We get it done, then move on to the next task.
Like being busy and being productive is 2 very different things. Busy is getting things done. Being busy is just doing something, but being productive is getting things done. So 9 hours of being busy is not equivalent to 3 to 4 hours of productive work. And so a lot of the times, most of the time, you would see that maybe you're starting to wake up at 9 a.m., but we finish our work at 12 a.m. But in really, out of that, it's 4 hours of productive work, and the rest was just fine doing this, fine doing that, and getting the meetings. So in between the days, we can go and do what we want to do, ensuring that if the next like 11 a.m. to 12 p.m. we got a meeting. That 1 hour we can get more work done than most people will get 4 hours of work done. And one thing I like to do is front load my week. So I kind of psychologically lied to myself that my week is from Monday to Thursday only, or Monday to Wednesday only. So I tend to load all of my week's work in just 3 days. And Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday is when I have my little chill time, my little down time. Because a lot of people think Monday to Friday is my big day. My work is 5 days, so I have to do work. But if you really think and move out what you really have to do, you can fit it in 3 days. And that's all you need to get enough work done in 1 week. And if you do that, compounding the 3 times of work in a week times by 4 is 12 days of work, equivalent to 30 days of a normal person's schedule. So the rest of the time, so you're just doing what needs to be done to grow the business, get the meetings, fly to Singapore, have masterminds, those hours. Yeah.
Oh, that's nice. Fun load. Yeah, I do something similar as well.
Right.
Yeah, just finish everything by Monday. All the
One day.
yeah, I don't even do
steroids.
one day, and then the rest of them are just meetings. Meetings are very unproductive, so
Exactly.
I push them out throughout the week.
Another hack with meetings are like one thing we've started doing, and we've encouraged our employees and our teammates to do is Loom videos.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, let's not have that 1 hour meeting. Just record a Loom video,
Yeah.
go through what problems you're facing, send it over, and we'll watch it, and then we'll send our remarks and suggestions back.
Yeah.
That's been a life.
Sometimes we are thankful for the free version of Zoom because it captured the 45 minutes and just after it's done.
You can't finish in 45 minutes, don't waste
Don't waste my time.
Don't
Correct,
ask for the
yeah.
extension. You're not going to pay for it.
Correct.
How about you pay for it, then you extend? You can tell them that.
Especially when they're like, oh, send the
Send the link.
send the link.
You're done. Interesting.
Yeah.
Would you guys say you guys have learned a lot with this model, this business?
Over here.
100%, man.
Right.
Like, I was just talking to you about
Just-
this.
yeah.
Like, we've only been in business for 3 years, but it feels like 30 years. No joke. Like,
Yeah.
the months of ups and downs. Like, you learn a lot of things like marketing, advertising, you know, like setting up a company, tax structures, like legality, having lawyers, having accountants, like full spectrum. We're quite blessed at this age that we're going through this, because I personally can't imagine myself at 35 starting an agency. Because you have kids, you have responsibilities, it's just too much.
You guys have girlfriends now?
Yeah, we do.
Yes, we're in a relationship.
Okay,
Yeah.
How's that working out so far?
Again, boundaries, right?
Yeah.
Boundaries.
Yeah, it's
I
very
mean,
good.
like, it's very, very important. You know, I tell my girlfriend, like, look, you know, I'm not going to be on my phone 24/7. You can't expect a reply from me the instant you send a message, because I've got genuine things to do. And if you really show her that, you know, you are working on yourself, you're growing a business, she's going to understand that, right? If she thinks if you're fooling around, then she's not going to take you seriously.
Mm.
So you have to be very important in that sense, right? So again, like clients, same thing with boundaries. Like, you know, I'll text you when I can. I will text you, but no problem.
Yeah.
But, you know, I can't reply you instantly. If it's anything urgent, then shoot me a call. So it's again being communicative and having boundaries. Same thing in every facet of business as well.
Yeah, and going back into where you were asking about how much we've learned in this business era, right? So backstory a bit. My first ever company was a 3D printing company, and I started that during my university days. And why I did so was because I studied mechanical engineering, which I'm doing marketing, that makes sense. But anyways, so in the first 3 years of my engineering degree, I understood there's something much more than what they're teaching me. So I just went ahead and just started a startup with no business experience, nothing at all. And within the first 6 months, I'm not kidding, within the first 6 months, I noticed that whatever I'm learning in university is not going to help me in this. And I said, okay, you know what, because back then, I just wanted to focus on my studies, get good grades and all that kind of stuff. And then when I started my business, I understood that that's not going to take me anywhere. Because I know from a young age, I want to do business. But how and where and when. So I just started this business, and then I realized what really needs to be learned to run a business. And so I was telling Halgon about that. Once I found that out, I had another 2 years left in my degree. I told myself, you know what, I'm just going to give myself a 2-year holiday from studying. Just focus on business. As long as I just do what I need to do to ensure I don't fail, just put my time and effort during my business. And in the first 1 year, I learned more about business than most people do after graduating and working a 5-year job and then understanding that. So that gave me that upper hand, already understanding business before I even graduate. And so by the time I met him 2 years later to start the partnership, the value that I brought to the table was I've already run this business before, I know how to run a business here and there. And so skill sets at the end of the day, having that, know who you know also matters, but what you bring to the table, like I said, it's what you do with who you know. I can't just go to some billionaire and, you know, I know you, let's do business together. No, he's not going to need me. So accumulating skill sets and knowing where to play the game is what really, really matters. Yeah, correct.
So a lot of people online when they go, especially when they're beginners, right? Beginning phases, and they want to earn 10K a month and live that life.
Yeah.
What would you say to these people?
Understand what you really, really want. True revelation that I just had was money is limitless. You can earn as much as you want. When are you going to draw the line? When are you going to draw the line and say, okay, this is what I really need? Most people think I need $100 million in the bank account to live a good life. We don't. Probably just need 5 to 10. We live a very, very good life. And it comes to a point of what are you willing to sacrifice for what your dreams are? One true, very profoundly relevant is if you don't sacrifice for what you want becomes a sacrifice. It's so profound. So if you want to make 10K a month, cool. Why? What do you want? What fast car? You want to fly around the world? What is it that you want? So if you want to build an SMMA to make 10K a month, cool. All over to you. Why? Because you want to finance your girlfriend and your family? Okay, cool. Now work backwards. How much do you need to sustain a wife, probably 3 kids? How much do you really need? And then once you know that number, you have your North Star and then work towards that. Making a lot of people that make 10K a month, and then, okay, where do I go from here? Okay, 30K a month. Okay, where do I go from here? 100K a month. Where do I go from here? And then I go into this endless, people say money can't buy happiness. It's not true. Money does buy some sort of happiness. But understanding how much you want. But I don't want to be a billionaire. I don't want to. Although we might be able to if you pull it off, right? But I don't want to because I understand the headaches that comes with becoming a billionaire. I want to be able to sleep peacefully and I not have shareholders coming at me. Yeah. So that's in the end of the day of knowing what you want, better, small, how much you want.
Yeah, 100%. And it's like what Jaya said, like operating from first principles is very important. Like just because Iman or 10 other gurus say you're doing 10K a month, like you know, ask yourself, is that what I want? And number 2 is also like coming back to your strengths and weaknesses. Like, you know, is agency even the business model that will be right fit for your personality? If you're an introvert, the agency model is going to screw you up because you have to speak to a lot of people, you have to talk to, you know, clients and rejections after rejections, right? So you have to understand what is your archetype and then building a business towards that, because there's so many businesses out there, but it's finding what is your archetype. And to be honest, if you ask me, I would say 10K per month is too low, because if you have a stronger why and vision, you could be surpassing that already as well. And not focusing on the money initially, but again, focusing on the skills, because who's going to give you money at the end of the day? Human beings. And why would they give you that money? Because you're going to improve their life. How are you going to improve their life? Because of X, Y, and Z. And how much you're going to charge. So you see, you start breaking down that why and why and why and why. And therefore, if you have that why, you're not going to burn out. And you're not going to stop at 10K a month. Because for probably 2 years, you had that goal of hitting 10K a month, 10K a month. But once you hit that, almost everybody, including ourselves, we hit that point where, hit ready. Okay, what's next?
What's next? Yeah.
You know, you start slowing down after that because your desire has been achieved. Then if you follow Maslow's hierarchy of needs, you know, your needs and levels settled, then you know, you just stay there. But if you had a stronger why, you would have built even bigger than that.
Nice. So that's your advice for people who want to start an SMMA?
Focus on skills, focus on what you can provide on the table, and the money will come by itself. Because at the end of the day, people are going to give you the money, not some arbitrary alien that's going to give you that money. So if you can focus on why would they give you that money and why you deserve to be paid, and what skills are required to be paid.
Thanks for being here, guys.
Thank you so much.
I appreciate it, man.
Thanks, man.
Good chat.
Good chat.